what we are going to cover today is just a couple of quick points on the, on the education industry. And the 3 points that we said that we would discuss were how to gather your data, to show transparency and accountability, and how to easily and quickly get approvals. So what we have here is just one that's knocked up quickly for you. Just as an example, this is the basic amount of information needed to create a legal document. But you generally in your industry you're going to want a lot more than that, more than just the general information. So we're saying here who it's coming from, who's approved it, what departments, and there's a lot of stuff that we can choose to sort of add to this, which is the first port of call, which is the customizing your information. So if we go to company settings and we go to purchase orders and custom fields. So one of the things that you guys probably come across quite a lot is that you want to know which grant you're using. So I'll pop that in there. And some of the other common things in there, like events at the schools in there. So we want to know which event this particular stuff is being bought for. And then one of the other most common things across all industries is to know what type of payment was used for this. So like, was it Visa or MasterCard or Amex? So we'll put that in there as drop down for you. Okay, so now when we decide that we're going to create a new purchase order, we have those information boxes here. So we can say which particular grant it's against, which particular event if it's an event, and which particular payment method was used. We can put literally anything in here that you want. So any information that you need to gather, whether it be internal or information that you want sent to the supplier, we can choose whether or not it appears on the PDF or whether it's just for you to, internal information for tracking or forecasting or whatever it is that you might want that information for. So sorry, you have to bear with me a second here. We were on a bit of a back foot with all this tech issue that we had. Wanted to show you also the transparency on things. So when we're setting up budgets, what we do is it will say, okay, so these are particular budgets that we have. We'll put an amount against them, and then we choose who approves here. So I've said any approver here just to keep it simple, but we can set it up so that it goes through an approval workflow each time. So it has to go to person A and then to person B, and that gives you the transparency and accountability that you need if you're doing an audit, or if you're trying to figure out what's gone wrong with something somewhere. Anything that happens to a purchase order will have a time and date stamp on it as to who did it when, like there we go. So we know that this one was self-approved by Miss Lynch, 1:30 yesterday. So this allows us to, so you see a lot of things in here, in your reports as well. So we can see like which supplier it was against, if it's a supplier issue that you're looking for, or if it's an approval issue or a requester issue. Anything that basically gets entered into the system, we can track, and we can figure out where the problem is there for you then. So the last part of it is literally the ease and speed of approval. So a lot of people are using paper, and according to the people that I've spoken to, often it can take like up to a week to fill in a requisition form, find the right people, get it all signed, and like a week is a rarer one, but most people have said to me it takes 2 to 5 days, which is an incredibly long amount of time. With this system, you can pick, sorry, what I did here was I set up the different departments that you might have there, because that further categorizes your spend. So we want to choose whether it's academic or an event, or if it's extracurricular, like the hobbies or things like that. If it's grounds and maintenance, or if it's a sporting event. We'll have a supplier list here that you just quickly choose who your supplier is. If it's being spent against a grant ID, we'll pop that number in there. If it's for a particular event, we can say that it's graduation carnival, and then say what kind of thing it was, and we'll say here dog stand. So I put this on academic, my apologies. So we've seen the grant, we've seen the event, seen the payment method. Right. And we'll say that this is for a carnival, and unit price would be $350 rental, and that's your purchase order done. It's created. It's ready to send to the supplier. Now, in the case where it's a person who is just a team member and they have to get approval first, what will happen is the approver will receive an email detailing what it is, where it's coming from, how much it is, how much will be left on that budget as well. So it gives them a very full sort of overview of what's going on before and giving them an informed decision as to whether or not to approve or reject it. And you can do that directly from that email, which is quite handy too. And that is the long and short of it all. So once it's done there, once it's approved, literally the minute it's clicked approve, it becomes a purchase order, and then we can go through the delivery and the receiving and stuff like that. But this is only a sort of 10-minute little demo for you guys quickly. So if you do want any more information on that, please get in touch and let us know. I'm more than happy to give you a free one-to-one consultation, because everybody's different. I know it's an industry standard things, but a lot of internal stuff is handled very differently, which is where our customization comes in really handy. And then the last thing is, in the email, I did promise that there would be a prize available for the more eagle-eyed of you than that. Essentially, what that's going to be is if you sign up, then we'll give you the free concierge setup, which is worth $500. And all I need to know is the name of a movie. Now, if you have been paying attention, you should know which movie that is. And that's it. Are there any questions that you would like answered? Anybody here? No questions. Okay, excellent. Well, if you'd like to get in touch with us, then do so through the website, procurementexpress.com, or feel free to email me directly if you just have a couple of questions and or if you want to set up a chat or anything like that. No obligation, no hassle, no nothing like that. Just give me an email at nate.kent, Kent, at procurementexpress.com. Okay, speak to you soon. Thanks. Bye.